Well, I was about, I don't know, 5 years old. I was in the grocery store with my mom, and there's this guy giving out like samples of chocolate. And one of them was a chocolate-covered strawberry, so I ate that, no problem. The next thing was, I later learned, was a chocolate-covered Brazil nut.
So we're walking around in the grocery store. I'm slowly dying, and we finally get to the cash register, and the woman behind the counter she says to my mom, she says, "Hey, I think your son's having an allergic reaction." My mom says, "Oh, you think? Oh, okay, all right." And then we go back to my house. My mom gives me some Benadryl, which helped a little bit. Then she called urgent care, and urgent care said, "Yeah, you got to get him down here right now." So we run over to urgent care, and they treat me, and that's when I realized I had a treat-on allergy. What they did was they drew a grid on my arm, and they dipped a bunch of needles in different tree nuts, and they just stuck the needles on my arm, and whatever square reacted is what nut I was allergic to. So there are some tree nuts that I'm not allergic to. I just don't remember what they are, so I stay away from all of them. And also they tested if I was allergic to peanuts. So what they did was, it's called the Peanut Challenge, where they take a little souffle cup and they fill it with crushed up peanuts. And you eat it, and you wait an hour. There's no reaction. They give you more. You eat it, wait another hour. Nothing happens, till eventually they realize, okay, you're probably not allergic to peanuts. So when I ingest a tree nut, I go into anaphylactic shock, which I always explain to people. It's basically, it feels like you're dying because that is exactly what is happening. Your throat starts to close up, you break out in rashes and hives, it's really hard to breathe. There's usually nausea and vomiting involved. So what you have to do is then use an EpiPen, which is filled with this medicine called epinephrine, which is basically just adrenaline, and you inject it into your thigh, and then it introduces the adrenaline into your body, and it slows down. It doesn't stop the reaction, doesn't like cure you. It just pauses the reaction. It gives you enough time to get to the hospital where they pump you full of steroids to eventually stop the reaction. Scariest moment probably when so I was about 7th grade, and I was on a travel soccer team. We were up somewhere for a tournament, so we stayed over at this DoubleTree, this hotel, and I guess their gimmick or quirk or whatever is they give out complimentary chocolate chip cookies. So my dad gives me one, but he hadn't checked to see if there are any nuts in it. So I eat it, and I start reacting in the hotel room. So my mom gives me the EpiPen, and my dad calls the front desk, and he says, "Hey, can you please call an ambulance? My son's having an allergic reaction." She says, "Yeah, sure." So we make it down to the front desk, and the ambulance isn't there. He goes in and he asks the woman, where's the ambulance? And she said, "Oh, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I haven't called them yet." So my dad is furious, and he has the woman print out the directions to the nearest hospital because we don't know where we are. We're not familiar with the area. So we finally get over to the hospital, and they treat me, and everything was all right. It's still kind of scary in the sense that mostly just how quick it happens, but I wouldn't say I'm used to it, but I'm comfortable with the process now. It's like I know, okay, this is what the reaction feels like. This is what's going to happen. I need to inject myself with the EpiPen. Then I need somebody to get me to the hospital. So I wouldn't say I'm used to it, but I'm confident enough in my ability to deal with myself. I'm actually the first person to have this allergy. Both of my younger brothers have it too, but no one before me has any food allergies. But I'm the only one out of my brothers that's not allergic to peanuts. Both of my brothers are allergic to tree nuts and peanuts. So Halloween's awesome because I get all the Reese's Pieces. No, just because I have no reference as to what it tastes like, so I don't know if they taste good or bad, just because I've tried to avoid them all, because it's as far as I'm concerned, it's not really worth having a trip to the hospital every time I want to try some nuts.